says yes, says yes. My soul says yes to your way. My soul says yes, says yes, says yes. My soul says yes, says yes to you. My soul says yes, says yes, says yes. My soul says yes to you. Where you lead me, I will follow. When you call me, I will answer. Oh my Lord, please teach me how to know your way. Whatever you say, whatever you do, whatever you choose, Lord, do it your way. My soul says yes to your way. Say, my soul says yes, says yes, says yes. My soul says yes to your way. Yes, my soul says yes, says yes, says yes. My soul says yes to your way.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Trevor. That was our psalmist, Trevor Clark. Good evening, brothers and sisters, fellow Agapites. Welcome to our Bible study tonight. And also let me take the opportunity to welcome our wonderful friends all over who stream with us live on a Tuesday night. But as usual, there are some people whose names I have to call. And let me start first up into Vancouver, Canada. Lisa Shaw and Marlon and family. And I find Lisa is so very encouraging, always sending me WhatsApp and sending me prayers, and sometimes very appropriate prayers too. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Audrey. Audrey was telling me that um, I'm not calling all the names who view, and I know you viewed on Sunday, Audrey, and I know you're viewing tonight. And Gabby, I think you probably are on board for the first time tonight. Welcome. Diamond, I don't know if you view on a Tuesday, but if you're there, welcome. The Serpent Killer up in Port Jefferson, New York, Pastor Mercedes, always viewing and always commenting and contributing. We really appreciate your comments that you make from time to time, whether in my inbox or on our postings. My sister Arlene also views. My granddaughter Abby in Shelbyville, she doesn't miss Tuesday night at all. So Abby, this is your shout out. And Andre Alexander, Abby's fiance, your shout out too. They are on board every Tuesday night. And wherever you are, Vivian Lewis in Queens and her daughter as well. Our friends in St. Thomas Virgin Island, Jennifer Sumrall Reimer and Pastor Othniel Sumrall, her dad. Welcome to our Tuesday night Bible study. And friends, if I didn't name it tonight, you just send me a text and I'll make sure to do it next week. Oh, we also have Sandra Smith down in North Carolina. Didn't remember you, Sandra. Welcome on board too. All right, so we have many wonderful friends who view our stream. Some view it live, some watch rebroadcast, but they all view it. And we're glad to have you, and we hope that you are learning. Tonight, we are going to touch on Ephesians 5:22. And I'm going to ask Pastor Shirley to read it for me.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
Read it again.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
And somebody's saying there are some instructions to the husband as well. So why are we not reading that? What I want to do here is to show the analogy between the church and our own relationships. Wives, submit yourselves to your husband as what? As unto the Lord. And the wives are instructed to submit to their husbands in the same manner as the church submits to Christ. And I'm saying that because the Bible has not said anywhere that the church is the bride of Christ. Are we all here? Amen. There's nowhere in the Bible you're going to find that. But we know Christ to be the bridegroom. Hello? Oh, yeah, the sound so. This is why I want to explain that. No, we gave us as a caption, God doesn't want a visiting relationship. So I'm going to spend some time looking at the features of a visiting relationship. Why it's not an ideal relationship. We're in a society where there are side chicks and side boys, or what do you call those? In Jamaica, they're called galleys or players or whatever they're supposed to be. Right? But it's not an ideal relationship for a number of reasons. And we're going to look at the reasons why it's not ideal and why they should be vigorously and strenuously avoided by the church. The first feature of it is that relationship provides no security. Hello? No security. You know, as a marriage officer, we know that what makes a marriage is not the piece of paper that Pastor Jeremy signed and sent to the registrar, in Jamaica, so you can get a license and you're married and so on. We should be satisfied that marriage has longevity, has permanence, has commitment, and has trust. If those elements are not there, it is not a marriage. And some might say, well, there are some, what they used to call common law relationships, that have all those elements in there. And my answer would be that if the elements are in place, then where God is concerned, those people are married. Anybody has any stone out there? Hold it down a little bit. Right? What God is looking for is that piece of paper somebody wave in them face and say, we are married now. We know sometimes people are coming to church and, they are coming to church now and they were living in that situation and they want to get married just because they are coming to church. Or people in church want to get married just because they're in church. But the relationship lacks those elements. And therefore they're not really married. They are legally married. But in the eyes of God, they're not married yet. Until you have those elements all in place. Now, I don't understand it. Maybe because I'm a male, hard for me to understand. But why would a woman give her all to a man over several years without any kind of security? Sorry? Hoping that one day she may get the long service award. I remember at a wedding I spoke at, and I was really annoyed with him. When the groom went up to speak, he said, I've heard you all, but I want you to be no doubt that I am marrying her tonight because I've decided to give her a long service award. That's what he was giving to her. A long story. So he didn't say he loved her, didn't say she was a good woman. Because, I mean, he has known her for many years. So he could have spoken about her. You know, why? So a visiting relationship means they're not living together, you know. One comes to where the other one lives, and then they go. They don't live together. So you visit, you spend time together, and then you go. You don't come every day either, because sometimes you're told you can come once or twice a week, because possibly there's somebody else who come in 2 other days. Where are you all at? This is so. We all know it, don't it? All right, so it provides no security. You could be with a man or with a woman, for that matter, because it's a two-way street, and for many years. And then one day, they decide, say, well, they don't want any more of it. And the years are wasted. My mother used to tell me about a relationship where this man lived with this woman for many, many years. And he bought a suit and brought home. And a shirt. And he asked the one he lived with to iron the shirt for him. Because he's going to a wedding. And he Saturday morning, she helped dress him. And he went to the church down the road, and he's getting married. She ironed his shirt. Yeah? And he got married to somebody else. Number two, a visiting relationship has no formality. It's a loose kind of relationship. Anything goes type of thing. You know, there are no ground rules to this, you know. It's pretty much whatever one wants to do, one does. There is no permanence in the relationship. In fact, people who are in it very often do not see themselves as being in a permanent relationship. And this is why in the preface I was saying that I am accepting those relationships where, although they have not come to us and say, marry them, but as far as they are concerned, they are in a permanent relationship. I remember a lady started to come to this church many years ago. And she lived with a Rasta man up in Gregor Park, and she said she wanted to get married now. And the Rasta man came down and met with me and said, yes, I'm going to marry her. And he said to me, although as far as he's concerned, marriage is the Pope thing. For those of you who live abroad and don't understand the Jamaican, colloquialism and how we think and so on, what they're saying is that it was the Pope who invented marriage, which is not true, but it's what they believe. So as a Rastaman, you would normally marry, have a formal thing like that. But because he said this woman has been so good to him over many years, if that's what it takes to make her happy, go to church and serve her God, he's going to do it. I respect that man, I'm telling you. And he did it. We married them right in the office inside here. And he was so happy. He gave me a big Dutch pot and gave the church some too. All right. So there has to be permanence in the relationship. A visiting relationship has no commitment. No commitment or depth. It is superficial. It operates only on the surface. It doesn't go below surface. And nobody don't have to commit themselves to anybody. You don't have to be committed. You do what you want to do and without any commitment. We're talking about in that situation, we're talking about fornication and casual sex and loveless sex, which is a sin, a serious sin. So it has no commitment. No, you see me? No, you don't. Men, you sleep together tonight, tomorrow you're going to marry somebody else. Because we are not committed to each other. We're really there like like the lower animals, pouncing on each other, but are not committed in any way. Sorry to put it like that, but you know, it's the way it is. There is no bonding. Did you know you can be in a relationship for many years and yet you don't bond with the person that you are relating to? You never really get to know each other well enough. So little ones here, I'm sure I can say it that little ones don't get me wrong. Let me try to give you the synopsis of a telephone call between two people who are in that kind of relationship. Phone ring. Well, go on. One to the other. Where are you tonight? Not sure yet. What you think about? I think can go on, you know. That is the conversation that they're having. You know, God never intended for us to relate like that. Where there's no expression of love, there's no demonstration of love. Nothing, I think. It's purely animalistic, you know. You ever watch a rooster yet? You ever watch a rooster in a yard? And the hen pass him and lick her down and boom, 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 and him gone about the business. It's not hurt. You ever seen it yet? Yeah, man. So the rooster work and him crow and him walk go up the road there out to the at the end of the aisle. Under the full pass him and same thing. Same thing. And that goes on all day long. Can I tell you? So my cousin on the Baron, he was telling me about certain animals. Certain animals, no. I think dogs are the exception. He told me that if a female of the species allowed another male of the species to sleep with her, he'd kill her. He said that I think he said the rooster, if he found out that another rooster came around, he would beat the female hen with his wings until he killed her. You think about that and compare that to human beings. I think the exception to that rule between birds and low animals would be the dogs. You know, a certain female dog is allowed to do what she wants to do. And the male dog couldn't care less. Because he's an old dog and he's gone the marvel piece himself anyway. So there's no bonding, there's no intimacy. There's no intimacy. People can relate. They relate sexually. But they're not bonding at all. And as soon as they finish relating like that, somebody pack them bag and gone. I'm being a little bit graphic now, but I want to get across my point. That's why I'm doing it. What kind of relationship is that? Where you are giving somebody the greatest gift you can give them, and as them done, them gone. I might say something wrong. What? All right, I'm gonna come to that. Sister Shirley's putting me up into something here now. I'm gonna come to that. Right, we're talking about where they come and go. You know, they're coming and going, right? But they don't bond, and as I said, there's no intimacy. They talk about love making, but there's no love involved in it now. And in Jamaica, I did a program years ago on the Circle of Friends, and it was a little bit. But anyway, sometimes I can be very down to it, very graphic, because I want people to understand what I'm saying, and they can relate to it. All right. All right. I'll come back to if anything. But the lack of intimacy. In Jamaica, there was a program on CVM one Monday night, and they were discussing the whole question of lovemaking and sex and so on. Because really, most people are just having sex. There's no love involved in it. And they were dealing with the whole thing of you know, in Jamaica, men talk about blue pills, right? Let me see who understand blue pills and so on. All right, for those who don't understand it, I think they're talking about Viagra. They're talking about Viagra. And they'll charge themselves up with these pills now, whether sell this or Viagra. They stuff themselves with it. And they are going to see a woman and they intend to damage her now. And what this guy was saying, I remember this Indian guy that came on, and he said he takes something which he called Indian God. And he says these young ladies are out of order and like to pass remarks about man. And he makes sure I'm damage them. Right? So his whole idea is it's like he's going to war. And he hear words like damage that, beat up that, kill that, murder that. Pastor G is not. It's graphic, but the thing is what's on the street is what they say. And I'm thinking, why any self-respecting woman would allow herself to be in a situation like that? All right. We continue. There's no deep knowledge of a person's ways. You don't know the person's ways. You don't know anything about them. You know, it takes time to get to know somebody, And it takes observation over a period of time as well to get to know the person. We like to say we know people. We really don't know anybody. You so long we married? And I would never tell her I know her now. No, because I don't think I know all about her. I still get some surprises sometimes. So it takes a long time to get to know another person. Because most of us have a little part of us that we don't display. We don't. We hold back certain things. And so it needs some amount of work and effort to get to know a person. All right? So in these kinds of relationships, there's no deep knowledge of a person's ways. It is actually one of convenience. It is one of convenience. Somebody has an urge. Every human being has urges. And you can somewhere to dump it. So, you find somewhere convenient to dump it. Relationships can be like that. It can be convenient. Not because it's convenient, you're going to be involved with it. I know people tend to get involved with people in their own communities because of convenience. It's not an ideal thing, but because it's convenient, you're doing it and you're doing it for a while. Till eventually people's emotions are stirred and then you dump them and you don't care less because you weren't asked for a commitment either. There's no what we call mutuality. We don't give and get. Most of these relationships, one person is giving a lot more than the other. Who a lot more than the other. And we are constantly taking advantage of in those relationships. The one who claims to love more or to even love at all is the one who's going to suffer in that relationship. Because as soon as it's known that you love, the demands are going to be made on you. Jamaica is an interesting place. In Jamaica, we say, if you love me, you'll give me. Now, this is not the God kind of relationship where God loves, He gives. But God so loved that He. But in Jamaica, if somebody ever knows, say you love them, a man or a woman, They're going to squeeze you dry, wring you out for everything if they know that you love them. They say, if you love me, you give me a paycheck, everything. I give back something, whatever, whatever, whatever. And what are you getting? What are you getting really? You know, don't stomach Jamaican men. But Jamaican men are not known to be lovers, you know. I know some of us ladies might be watching, and there are exceptions, of course, and I should be saying it like that. But a lot of Jamaican men, and you might say in your country the same thing. So maybe it's a man thing, but they don't spend time in nurturing relationships because the person they're related to is expendable and replaceable. Too easy to replace them. So you don't have to spend time making it work. The last thing is that, before we go to something else, is that in those relationships, there's no peace of mind. There is no peace of mind. You can't be at peace in a situation like that. And I dare anybody who to tell me that they are in a relationship of convenience like that they are at peace with themselves. They are not. Not. They take a lot of stress, a lot of worry in that kind of situation. The intention was that people would be helpmeets. You know, one helping out the other. You give according to what you have, and I give according to what I have. You may have money, but I don't have money. I have other things I can contribute to the relationship, and we can make a life. You know, but each of us giving something into the relationship. When good relationships work, and remember, I'm saying to you now, I'm not just talking about people that I marry or Pastor G marry. I'm talking about people who are in relationships where they are committed to each other. It can be the most fulfilling thing when it is working right. It can be your worst nightmare when it is not working. That's why Solomon said he'd rather be on a house top than in the house with some woman. And he said woman, but I'm sure that maybe the Queen of Sheba would say the same thing. It would be better for her to be on the rooftop than to be in there with some man. All right, we're going to close tonight on this one. Because this was a subtitle now. You cannot expect God to pay the rent and pay the bills if you shack up with devils. So if you are shacking up with devils, God will not pay those bills. He will not pay those rents. You can't come to God and demand anything from God. If that's the kind of relationship you're in, you're related to Satan, then he must, it is his for his account. For his account. Why am I saying that? I am saying that without coming back to church now, for many Christians, they come to church, but they are shacking up with devils, but they are making demand on God for all kinds of things. Don't expect anything. Just like if the man knows that you're doing that, or the woman knows you're doing that, they are going to hold back and not give everything to you. And you might say, but if you're talking about Christians, how can that be? Well, if you ever find out, please let me know. But I'm telling you, it happens a lot inside of the church of Jesus Christ. People claim that they're married to, I know women who say they're married to Jesus. Many women say Jesus is their husband and so on. But yet, they are intimate with Satan. They are intimate with Satan while they continue to declare that God is their husband. And you probably know some yourself. And not only is it because women say it, I don't hear a man say he's married to God. You know? But of course, you know, they well, we are married. We are married to God in that sense that we are part of the body of Christ. But when you think about how people treat God, you know, we ought to be glad that He's God and not some of us, because we wouldn't take it like that. We wouldn't take it like that. I remember Haggai the prophet. He had a wife who every night she gone to a different man. And so he went to the Lord and said, I need to get rid of this woman. I want a divorce. And God said, I'm not going to grant that to divorce. Because it's the same thing you're doing to me. It's the same thing you're doing to me. My people are having another God while it's supposed to be married to me. So, it happens in church a lot with people. There's no commitment. There's no loyalty. We don't see ourselves as being in permanent relationships. If it don't work out, we can always end it and move on and get a next one. For a lot of people, that's how they are seeing it. But we have to get to a place now where I'm talking to you. What's done is done. What's gone is gone. But those of you are here now, if you plan to marry again, do what they call due diligence. Check out the person very carefully before you say yes. Because if I marry you this time, when you're in, you're in. When you are in, you are in. And we can't say, mind you, if you are being physically abused over a period of time, I would have to say to you, run for your life. But if you had done your homework, you probably would not be in that situation in the first place. Because I know some mothers who will say to girls, he is inclined to rough stuff with women, so better be careful what you're doing. Spend time and know the person you are going to marry before you do it. But what God is saying now, we have had our run where some of us have many wives. In my family, most of them men marry more than once. Some of them several times and so on. But those days are coming to an end now. If you're going to, if you're outside doing anything you want to do now, because guess what? But if you're in the church, we can't be living like that. And not because somebody failed us, we think it must end same time. And I'm saying to men, and them don't like when I say it, but even if your wife cheats on you, it does not mean you have to put her away. Can I repeat that? Even if your wife cheats on you, it doesn't mean you must put her away. No, ladies. Even if your husband cheats on you, it does not mean you must put him away. Because you have to remember how many times you have cheated on God yourself. And you weren't put away. If we were to be put away by God every time we feel Him, who would be inside here now? Well, I'm sorry, I don't want to judge anybody. But those of you who would still be inside here, let me see your hand. Oh, lightning. Lightning would still be inside here. Well, it's not lightning, you can help us because, we are admitting that we have made mistakes and we have failed God more often than we want to admit it, But I'm glad for anybody, who is not at that place right now. But we have to allow the spirit of forgiveness to work in those relationships. I'm going to I want us to have a discussion. So I'm going to allow some time for that kind of discussion before we hand back over. 2 microphones are placed there, one down the center aisle, one to my left there. So if you want me to expand on anything or to clarify anything, or if there is something that you think I did not touch on, now is your moment. Turn it on. No. 1 second. You have to go to the mic. Hosea, yes. Thank you for the correction, Elder. Not Haggai, Hosea. Hmm? What's the Kim saying? All right. I like how you people are sharp. I said it was Haggai's wife. It was not Haggai's wife. It was Hosea's wife.
Could you expound about, how do you know that you're in bed with the enemy?
You see, again, it comes from we don't spend enough time knowing people before we get too close to them. This is the thing. A lot of relationships out there are the result of one night stands and that type of thing. People don't really know each other, and so we have to spend time. I'm saying that you can be married for 50 years and don't know your mate that well, or as well as you should. So, what chance do you have in 24 hours? We're gonna say, love at first sight. Give me a break. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as love at first sight. Not possible. You cannot love somebody you don't know. Not possible. You are attracted to that person. You are drawn to that person. Something is drawing you there. But love can only come after you and the person start to relate. That attraction that you call in love is really operating at a physical level. That's all it is. It is purely physical. Purely physical. And that will change in time. And this is why I always say you can't get involved with somebody because of how they look. People look good today and don't look so good tomorrow now. Oh, physical form change. You change. One man used to give a joke and he says that apparently he was a man who played the field. And he says that the good thing about middle age is that the woman you should have married now looks like the one you married. Somebody don't get that yet, but the ones who are laughing, ask them, they'll tell you what I was saying there. But what I'm saying that a lot of people feel that the other guy was better looking or the other girl was more beautiful. But when middle age come, I've seen the beautiful ones getting less beautiful and the not as beautiful ones getting more beautiful. I've seen that, So what he was saying. So the one you should have married, is now less beautiful than when you married. Yes, Natalie.
I am still on the same point as Alaric.
Please call your name.
Hi everybody, good night. It's Natalie Wong. No, you do have persons though who you are with them for a good while. So it's not a love at first sight situation. You grew up with them basically and you think you know enough about them and you're in love and you marry and I think one of the things is that in growing people change and also you have persons who are good at keeping stuff hidden. So when that comes out, when whatever situation brings out certain things in people, then you'll have that to face in the marriage. So it's not a situation where you went in not knowing the person, but while you're in the marriage, the person changed or something was hidden all along, and then you do your best work at it and it just don't work out. So
I agree with you that any one of us can be deceived. Despite doing the due diligence, take time to know her. It's not an overnight thing. Remember that song? Percy Sledge? Take time to know her. But even though you have to take the time, you can still be deceived. There's no guarantee you won't be deceived, But you have a much better chance of identifying deception in a person. If you spend time taking a longer look at them before you commit to them. Yes, Lightning.
First thing, naturally, I don't believe that no one can hide who they really are.
No one can do what?
Sometimes we
Hold on.
see
No
it.
one can do what?
No one can hide who they really are. Sometimes we see it, but we choose to ignore it. And that's where we end up in the problem.
You don't believe that? Huh?
For example, even if a person seems to be nice and kind and all of that,
Yes.
once the person gets angry one time, sometimes you see who the person is. But you seem to ignore it because you start saying that that's not who he is. But in the truth, that's who the person is.
Lightning, I have to tell you that all these countless numbers of women who have been deceived after spending time looking at a man, they would never agree with you. You see, I see where you're coming from,
And that's exactly my
But people
point.
can deceive people for years. Take it 10, 15, 20 years before you see through the deception. And that has been the experience of too many people, so we can't just dismiss it like that. Some people are masters at deception. Many of them out there. But I see where you're coming from. But don't believe all those women and men who have been deceived were all idiots.
I don't say they are. They just choose not to look at the bigger picture.
No, I can't agree with you. I can't. It has been masked. The deceivers have masked it very well. Very, very well. If you look at, let's take the question of Charlie Boy, that's Prince Charles from England, right? And he was involved. Why laughing? He was involved with someone named Camilla Parker Bowles, right? A married woman. While he was with Diana, he abused Diana over this woman, and to the point where some people feel like Diana's death was not a real accident. He went and he got married to her. And it's wide open war now. Wide open war. He feels he was deceived. And he has known her almost all his life. He paid a price. He will not be king of England because of this woman. He won't become king of England because of this woman. He paid that price. Only to discover that he was deceived. So it happens like that. Thank you for the question.
The thing that has been bothering me, in Malachi 2 verse 16,
yes,
it says that God hates divorce. And why is it such a popular thing in the church most of all?
He says he hates divorce. But Jesus also spoke to marriage and divorce in the New Testament, And he has given certain, how it can be done. So that nobody wants divorce. But how do I say? It's not like God did divorce Israel, but there was a separation between God and Israel. No, sir?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
But what lightning have to also factor, sir. God said he hates sin.
Eh?
God said he hates sin.
Yes.
So we don't sin like how God said he hates sin.
No, he's still saying that.
Okay.
He's still saying that.
Sir, so in keeping with what? I hear the teaching and I do accept that the Lord don't want his church, his people to wrap up in bed with the enemy. But sir, for those people who have feelings and have urges and bodies and the body they are calling and they are not married.
By the way,
and you have female shirts.
It's not those feelings. No. It's all people have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
True? Well, I can't really testify.
Yeah, all people have that.
So, sir, like you have persons in the church who have been praying for years, up on top of years, right? And when the announcements in church is made on a Sunday about marriage, they say, oh, next time this year and next time this year I've been having for the past 5 years. And people persons are not finding persons to marry.
Some get
So
married. Some get
good.
married.
But for the others who don't, what are they to do?
Well, no, hold on a second. I am not going to. Wait, no. I am not going to claim to be the mouthpiece. Shh, come on, come on. I'm not going to claim to be the mouthpiece for every person who has not got married. And sometimes the male or female are setting unrealistic standards that are not going to be met. Their demands are too high. You know, you want a king, but you are not offering a man a queen. Are you hearing me? You want a king, you have to be a queen. You see what I'm saying? And over how many years we have been having this discussion. Pastor, you might remember our days up on McMaster rooftop in the town center, where that's what I need to do. You know, but you're talking about, you're looking for tall women, you're looking for tall, dark, and handsome. I dare tell you, I don't think you'll find many of those in any country with all three of them in place. Right? You're not going to find all three of them in place, you know. To start with, the average man is not tall. The average man is not tall. The average man is short. So that would disqualify a whole bunch of men. Maybe out of 10, maybe 6 gone. So you're working with 4 now. Right? We left Rua. Dark and handsome. We left it, no, tall gone. Dark and handsome. Alright, we can't find dark.
Sir, I don't think there's no standards anymore.
Oh, there are no standards anymore.
People just not find nobody.
No, hold on. No. I can't just accept it like that. I'm saying the reason people can't find. Women have told me that them look in the church and they're seeing a man that they would want. They were looking for a man who drive a Beamer on Monday, a Benz on Tuesday, Audi on Wednesday, and so on and so forth. You know, come on, especially young ladies. Let me tell you, young ladies, right? If you see a man who has ambition, and you see a man who will be a good father to your children, a man will love you and not beat you. I think you have something to work with, you know. You can build the married early. No, I don't think all them married early though. I think, I think you have something to work with. No, I was saying, I never finished though. Tall, dark, and handsome. We said 6 men out of 10 are gone because they are short. 2 out of the 4 left in a prison. Right? So it's only 2. You have 10 women vying for 2 men. Hello? And wait now. And 1 out of that 2, 1 out of 2 looking for somebody who have a American residency or Canadian. He wants impermanent visa. You want status. So is you really only working one? I'm saying you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Trevor might not be a 6 foot tall man, but he is a good man. Yes, Alex.
Yes.
Your turn.
Sir, I hear you.
Good night.
Night.
Anne-Marie Morgan here. Sir, you said earlier Jamaican men are known not to be lovers. You can expound on that? What circumstances and reasons why?
I want to be careful. I'm going to explain something that I don't have an experience with, but what I'm gonna say, that is based upon what I hear women saying and writing and so on. They're saying that is women saying it, I hear them saying it. I'm merely repeating what they are saying. And from my own observation with men I know, I hear them talk. At least some men talk, because that's where we hang out with men as a man, and that convinces me that it is so. So it is my own observation of men and what women have been saying in the press and in my hearing and so on, why I'm making that statement. And so a lot of Jamaican women tell you that they prefer overseas men to the Jamaican man. It is, it hurts me, it pains me to say it, but it is what it is. Yes, Minister.
Yes, sir. Based on that comment you just made,
Yeah.
I have overheard the females, Jamaican women saying that why they prefer American men because they are submissive. Whatever the female asks of them, they don't question it, they just do it.
That is indeed so. And I know that too. I know that close up. I've seen it. I've seen it happening. And these men will hand the envelope over to the females. Because I think the females are better manager. Mind you, if you're a better money manager, better you keep it. But remember this man, he always say, he and his wife get the same pay. He say, remarkable. You and your wife get the same pay? He say, yes, man. Me collect the envelope and then give it to her. Same pay. No problem. Let's have it.
Sir, based on how you break down the availability of males, can we then say, seeing that basically what is left is just a few, and the stats you use, it is 10 females vying for only like 2 males. So is it then that male must now have more than 1 female? And if the answer is no, how the population of females is going to be satisfied?
You weren't listening to what I was saying, I was saying that those females that you're pushing for, they have disqualified 6 out of the 10 men. So don't cry to me. Why have you disqualified 6 of the men? Because they're short? You disqualify them. I know some wise, some short men who are small, who are wise, and they marry big women.
But sir, outside of that, you have more female in the population.
No. Let me just.
All right, but sir, in the church, you have more female. So what the females in the church must do? Go out there and find
evangelize.
Also, is a lack of evangelism by the female side why there's no male in it? No, we understand why.
Yeah, evangelize. But I'll tell you this though. For the men who are in the church, if the men in the church were more active and more upfront, more men will be drawn to the church. But a lot of men don't want to submit to female leadership. Alright? But they don't come and then they're not involved. But alright, but that's it, Alric. If you have men up front and visible, it will attract more men.
So then I agree, sir. So basically what we're saying is the female false. They need to step back and allow us the males to be more active. Because sir, we are not active because there's really no void.
I totally disagree because the females are there by default.
No.
Because the males aren't functioning. The church has to run,
Right.
And the males are not stepping up and functioning. So I want to say,
But when I come to church, I don't see anything to do.
I thank God for the females who have stepped up.
Sir, when I come to church, I don't see anything for me to do because the females are just busy, and there's nothing for us to do. So we just come church.
No, not true. Not true. Not true. Because the men have failed.
Okay, well, we are here.
Their place.
So we want to be more active. The males are here and we want to be more active.
All right. Come and talk.
No, I'm not denying.
Come and let us have a conversation.
Yes, I'm standing up.
Come and let us have a conversation.
Okay.
Yes, Lightning.
I believe that one of the biggest issues that we have right now is that a man is judged based on what he owns. And because of that, we are always overlooked for somebody who they think is always better.
It's a society we're living in now where the emphasis, we have become a very materialistic society. You know, and even and sadly I have to admit that even in the church, sometimes a man is judged based on what he has or don't have. And that can't be right. But it is this materialism that is sweeping in the church as well, and it is caused by some preachers. This prosperity message, you know, which was pushed too much and make people feel that if you don't have money, you are less than a person. You know, is a big part of the problem. So I tend to agree with that. All right,
Sir,
final question.
Final one. But sir, so I acknowledge that females, quote unquote, in our term, don't want a broke pocket man. Right. Good, you hear? Who want that? No man don't want a broke pocket woman either.
And I say to that, they are making a very serious mistake. They are looking for a polished diamond when sometimes it is better to get a diamond in the rough and polish it through your relationship. So I hear you, Alric. I hear you. Yes, Pastor, you can have the last word.
I'm not going to have the last word, sir. But I want to say that when the Bible speaks of being unequally yoked, it doesn't necessarily mean that because you are a Christian and I am a Christian, or you're a Christian, I'm not a Christian. I think you can be unequally yoked, even if both of you are Christians. Because I might like to go out and you want to stay home. And so it causes friction in the marriage. So I really don't necessarily believe that because you are a Christian, I'm a Christian, that you are the person for me. Secondly, in when I was talking about that men are not given a chance in the church, I wish that I could sit down. I wish that I could sit down and the men come forward. And it is and it's only because the men don't present themselves. They don't present themselves, and so the church is all over filled with women doing jobs that men should be doing because they don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
Look at our church and the men's ministry. It's a defunct ministry. It's just a name. Nothing is happening there. And look at the number of men in the church tonight. And you don't see them. If you call them to a meeting, they don't come. If you ask them to do somebody, you can't just see the one hand. I don't looking at you. I'm not looking at the one hand. I don't know it's the one hand.
But you're correct.
That don't help.
You're correct. That's why I was saying, in answer to Alric, that the women are there by default. By default. Because the men have failed to step up, the men have abdicated their responsibility to the church, is why the female, and I praise God for the female, including you, Pastor Gertrude, and the other females in this church who have kept it together over several years, while men continue to fail God. Right. Mm-hmm. But I think a part of the problem is that the men would like to eat their cakes and have it. And so they are afraid of ministry because they are not at the place yet where they are willing to give up certain types of behavior. That is it. That is it. You know, ardent fans of being a man who want girl na bongo. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Beanie Man is supposed to be a DJ in Jamaica. Supposed to be, they call him Dr. Beanie Man. And, he really wants girls in a bundle. Amen. We have come to the end of our discussion tonight. We overran a little bit. I want to thank you all. You really got very interactive towards the end of it, and I thank you for it. We are out of time now, total out of time, all overrun, but we still have lots of messages to go. And we look forward to seeing you back here next week, Tuesday night, same time, when we'll do it all over again with another topic. Until then, God bless, keep, protect, provide for you in Jesus' name. Amen.